Maid Marian, hello. How are you? Sandra McCormick, hello. How are you? I just got up a little bit ago. Everybody enjoying this Friday? I'm good. You? I'm good. I slept the 13th away. I was like, I ain't doing nothing. Andy Lopez, hola from Texas, dear friend. Andy Lopez, hello. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Sandra, happy to hear from you. Happy to hear from you too. Mate says, I don't blame you. Yeah, I just got a little bit ago, so I'm eating what was for dinner now, so please forgive me. It was lasagna. Mmm. Nummy, nummy. Oh. Stuck it in the micro. So the top noodle's a little rough. So it's going yummy. Sandra, 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 when are you going to have your husband drop you off? Cher, come on over. Come on over. I been watching dog grooming videos and I'm like, oh, I miss my mom's dog. He was my little brother. Little Casey. Oh, I miss him. And then it makes me miss our golden retriever, Cyrus. Yeah, I miss him. He's a Pekingese, and I tell you what, when they first got him, it was actually my mom was his second chance because his owner, Millie Osborne, was dying. When is good for you? Pretty much any time. You gonna have him drop you off in the morning or at night? Just text me when. Well, what time do you want to come over? It's up to you. I ain't going nowhere. Well, anyway, a lady from the church, Millie Osborne. My mom hadn't heard from her in years, and I went to school with her nephews and shit at Blessed Sacrament and stuff. So anyway, she called my mom and asked her to come over. So my mom went over, and she asked her if she would be her power of attorney over her medical care and stuff, and mom said yes. So they got the paper signed. And then she asked my mom, she said, I have my dog Casey. And nobody wanted this dog. Nobody. He was mean as shit. He bit Millie, he bit the neighbors, and this and that. Nobody wanted near him. And Millie had gotten him from the pound. And apparently people who had him literally pulled up, opened up the door, and literally threw the dog out, threw Casey out, and said, kill the damn thing. We don't want him. And took off. So they really had no background on him or anything. So Millie adopted him, and he's mean. And Millie said, if anybody can turn him around, you can. If not, I have to put him down, and he will be buried with me in the casket. And Mom looked at him and went, you can't, you. He was cute, but he was mean. But when Mom came in, Casey just started wagging his tail. Millie just stood back. So, in order for Mom to keep Casey, Millie had to see how Casey was with everybody in the family. So, I had to go over, Cheryl had to go over. Cheryl didn't really take the boys. I think she took Cameron once. Casey didn't like Cheryl, although he didn't act like it at Millie's house. Casey didn't like Cheryl and Cameron at all. Cookies, hello. Your clock is off back there. I know, I gotta fix that sucker. Do you remember Elvira? Oh yeah, I remember Elvira. Well, anyway, so that's how Mom got the dog. Brought him over and this and that. So he didn't know how to be loved. He didn't know how to play. His teeth were all messed up and everything and blah, blah, blah. Well, they had him so long, we just loved the hell out of him. We taught him how to love and what it was like to be loved. He ended up being the sweetest little thing. He just loved being petted. He never gave the vet a problem, never gave the groomer a problem. Ended up straightening up his teeth, He was just a beautiful dog, and I miss him so much. He was Mr. Attitude. He's the one that liked to chase the leaves in the yard and act like he's killing something. It's like, get him, boy, get him. So, anyway, I was watching those. Yay. And he said, what say you play some cool Dark Side of the Moon in the background? Goes great with lasagna. So does red wine, but I love her. Yeah, Elvira's great. I don't think I heated this up long enough. I don't feel like cooking any garlic bread or nothing, so. I wish my mom could get around and shit like that. That way, I could have her come over here, Sandra. And meet you and stuff and say, hey. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Sandra, please tell me if I'm wrong, but did Carolyn die? I made my famous turkey soup tonight. We can go see her. Hell, if you can get in her house, I can't get in her house. She's like, no. Let's grab one of those healthy choice cheese ravioli with chicken. It was bland, dry, barely edible. Ooh. I was wanting to make sure. And please forgive me, I have holding the utensil. I can't grab it like I used to. What? All or 272? She still lives behind church. Who does? Who still lives behind church? Well, anyway. Well, we're just going to move on until... I might actually warm this up a little. Well, anyway. I, been watching a few videos. Getting a little bit caught up on news. She used to let me in. Yes, my aunt died when she was 8, and my mother and her was twin, and mom is 73. Oh, Sandra said she used to let me in. Oh yeah, my mom? Hell, she won't even let me go in the house. She's like, nope, I don't need the COVID. I was like, Mom, do you really think I've been anywhere to catch COVID? Really? Or as I like to call it, the Kamoma. I've been watching a little bit of the news, trying to get it caught up on some of it. And, I'm glad. Boy, Etta took a chunk out of Florida, didn't it? But at least it wasn't a Category 5 hurricane or nothing. But I feel sorry for those down there. Of course, you know, Etta's moving up United States, but still. Anna Fulton, hello. Hi, gang. Finally catch you on. Yep. And it looks like Arizona called Biden. Surprise, surprise. The only states left is Georgia, which is in the middle of a recount, and North Carolina, which everybody knew was going to fight Trump anyway. I don't know why they didn't call that. DLB, hello. So, well, anyway, and then I got to listen for about we don't know what is up with North Carolina either. Yeah, like there's going to be some miraculous change. The numbers ain't changed since a week ago. Well, anyway, so I did catch a little bit of Trump's caught about a minute and a half, 2 minutes of Trump's press conference or whatever he decided he was going to have today, talking about the corona. And I'm like, maybe they were waiting on some ballots or something. Who knows? A lot of military there, though. So, and then I listened to the numbers on the corona. And it was just a somber moment because I'm like, what's it going to take? How much more can the United States take? We have inaction by our government. And then we have a president threatening New Yorkers with no vaccine to be given to them. How much more can we, as the United States, take? We just found out today that another friend of ours was a. She just found out. She was around somebody with COVID, didn't tell her. And now she has COVID. She didn't know. What's it going to take? How many lives? Were these people saying, oh, it's no worse than the flu? We have 350 million people living in the United States. That's not a lot considering our size at all. You can fit all of them in Texas. And by February, they're expecting 500,000 people dead. Good thing he's not going to have a say in middle January, but it is still just too much. Exactly. It's too much. What's it going to take for people to realize this shit is real? Granted, United States, we're a spoiled ass bunch of brats in the United States. We truly, truly are. We're spoiled. There are so many countries that wish they had a fourth of what the United States of America offers its people. We have so many countries that wish they had a fourth of the amenities that even some of our poor people enjoy. They wish they had it that good. And we squander it because we're spoiled. And nobody's going to tell us we can or can't do anything. I don't want to wear masks, so I ain't going to. Screw you. I'm not going to social distance. I don't want to. Screw you. Oh, you got a great survival rate. Tell those that are dead. Tell them that. You yourself tell them that. You yourself tell their families that. What's it going to take? That sad thing to do. I am Biden. Anna says my granddaughter being tested and grandson now in our county, and our little county red for quite a while. Anna says we are red also. Anna says, where you at, Sandra? I'm in Adams. Says Anna. Nadine, hello. I used to live in Heath and now Zanesville. Anna says, our High Valley schools shutting down Monday. Dale says, I'm in Texas, as red as can be. We're a bunch of spoiled ass brats. And it's a somber moment. Because we don't know what the long-term effects are. Some get it worse than others. And then you got somebody trying to politicize this. Liz and I would not survive. No. Governor Abbott does not think that we need to shut down. Senator said people need to wear masks. Sapphire Blue, hello. Anna said, yes, it is, Les. Even when new vaccine, we won't know how long from effects. Exactly. Is the vaccine going to work on everyone? But then again, no vaccine can 100% guarantee it will work on everyone. There's always that one or two that can slip by. But still, what's it going to take for these old brats called you American citizens to realize every once in a while you have to do as mommy and daddy says? Governor Abbott shut down El Paso. Sapphire Blue says hello. I know around here we got these country boys. I ain't being told what to do. Gee, it's just a little cold. Well, first of all, I don't know if y'all are like my family, but the men in my family, they get a little cold. Oh my god. I got the cough. They're down for weeks. My family, yeah, well, I got the cough, sniffles, fever, everything. I gotta get up and make the kids breakfast. Gotta get them off to school. You know, I gotta clean the house. Gotta get laundry done. You may not like it, you may bitch, but at least your shit gets done. Guys, they stay in bed all day. Honey, can you bring me some water? And as women, we do. I know when my uncle, he got sick, he stayed at our house. My sister and I catered to that boy. We did. Sarah, hello. Our schools are going online one one by one, and the library is closed to browsing effective Monday. Sandra says, Dale, I went to the store and me and hubby was the only one with masks besides employees. Anna says, same here, Sandra. Sandra said, we will be shut down soon. Oh. Anna says, no one will tell me what to do, attitude here. Sarah said, my dad was never like that. If he acted sick, he was really sick. Dale said, most men don't tolerate being sick well. I do have to say that my hubs generally does not complain too much. My dad doesn't either. My Uncle Gary did, but my dad doesn't. Sharon B, hello. Just watching the chat. Pookie is watching comedy, and I can't hear you, but my mama always said, this too shall pass. Sarah says, my mother, on the other hand, was a big martyr to the point where she would decide the living room furniture needed to be rearranged and done right now. That's my sister. In Houston, anyway, Dale says, masks are mandatory. My husband works in furniture sales, and if you don't wear a mask, you don't enter the store. Sarah says, that nonsense stopped when I came home from school and saw the furniture rearranged and asked if she was sick. Huh? Nadine, hello. Hubby got it and got treated with only Oxy 2 days and was way better. Sarah, that is me too. It treat everybody has COVID with OxyContin. There goes another epidemic of drug users. That shit is so addictive. I'm not saying your husband, Nadine, but you know, I know some people that would actually say they have COVID and want Oxy. That's all they need. Anna Grissom, hello. So what's it going to take, folks, for people to listen and just do as they're asked one time? For real. Oh, oxycodone might help with the body aches, but otherwise, nope. Nadine says no. The Trump meds. And it's like, what is topic? What's it going to take? When I had atypical double pneumonia in the hospital, they would give me nothing for pain because it would decrease my respirations. It was so painful. Tanner said, Les, I was worried when they gave it to Marie. Yeah. Sapphire says, Les, I went and bought some Advil, cold and sinus. Wow. What a miracle it was. They weren't dying of COVID. I think the COVID though, they are giving some pain meds. There's an ibuprofen maybe for the fever. Tanner says Marie and I shared same birthday. Aww. Anna says they are down here, Dale. I never slept for more than 2 hours at a stretch. I begged them to give me something to make me sleep. After about 6 days, they finally gave me something. It really helped. Hell, I begged them for them to give me something to help me sleep in the hospital. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. And I said, look, I'm prescribed Ambien to get me to sleep. I'm supposed to have something to help me sleep. That's one thing that pisses me off about the hospital. They will f your meds up. They will throw you completely off schedule. They won't give you your meds and say they do. I love it when they say they give me my shots. I'm like, no, they didn't. And no, they don't. Yeah, it says here, no, they did not. If they give me my shots, my sugar wouldn't be 500. And the thing of it is, the pharmacist comes in and asks you when you take your meds. I tell them. So what's the point next asking me when I take my meds? They give it to you whenever. I don't want to be giving it whenever. I said, this don't look like the meds I'm supposed to take. This don't look as many as I'm supposed to take. You've got like 3 or 4 pills here. Come on, I got about 7 more. Come on. Hydrocodone is also an excellent cough reliever. I didn't know that. Hydrochloroquine, sorry, that's what it was, plus zinc. I had to fight them for ibuprofen. They kept pushing Tylenol and it wasn't working. And it says I'm going to start hoarding my Ambien then. Dale said, I have sworn that if I get it and if I have to go to the hospital, I'm going to tell them to just sedate me at the damn door. I don't want to be aware of what is going on. Same here. They did that with my Xanax. Had hubby bring it from home. Oh yeah, they hate it when you bring meds from home. Oh, my nurse was pissed because I just started taking meds. I said, I told you to give me some meds. Did you take that? Yes, I did. That's exactly what I told him. He went, oh. I said, I'm supposed to have these. I don't need the house doctor to tell you that I can take my own damn medicine I'm prescribed. There ain't nothing new going on here. And then if it is off formulary, you have it. Yep, you have to wait. Yes, that is why it decreases respiration. Yep. When I had staph 104 fever, I had to hide it. Dale, they want to be able to charge you double the price for their meds. I'd pay it if they'd give it, but they don't. Well, we have to wait for the house doctor. I don't have to wait for shit. I'm a day and a half late for my pills, and you wonder why I'm in fucking pain. What it was is my feet were hurting really super bad, and I needed my gabapentin. They refused to give it to me. And I haven't had it for a day and a half. And I said, I need my pain pills. I need my gabapentin. And they wouldn't give it to me. So I called Fran. I said, will you bring me my pills? I took them when I'm used to taking them. Was given, Nadine said, was given to him by a Chinese doctor. Told I'm to add a daily supplement of zinc. Doc said to take zinc and vitamin D and quinine. Still did not get it. Really? That is awful, Les. Gabapentin is not a narcotic, I don't think. I don't know, but after a day and a half, you shouldn't sneak meds into the hospital. The nurse can send it to the pharmacy where we would document it and send it back to the floor. They haven't given it to me in a day and a half. They kept saying, we need the house doctor, we need the house doctor. I don't need a damn house doctor to tell me I can take my own damn meds. What I was legally prescribed. I was hurting. And I told them that I am hurting. They wouldn't do it. So I took my own. I didn't sneak it. I told them I was going to call. Told them Fran was going to bring it. And I told them I was going to take it. There was no sneaking to nothing. I didn't sneak shit. I tell them. Gabapentin is an anti-epileptic drug. Yes, it is. That is used, among other things, for neuropathic pain. I was in pain. One of the most versatile drugs out there. Why they didn't give it to me, I don't know. But then again, they don't give me my damn shots either. My insulin shots. And then they try to say I can't order food. They sat there one time, literally stopped the kitchen from bringing me my food. Because they said my sugar. And I said, how about giving a hooker a shot? Like you're supposed to. And then give me the nurse, she says, well, I don't have any illnesses, but I understand people like you. I looked up at her and I said, you don't know nothing about me. You know nothing. And so she tried to sit there and give me the spiel about how diabetics should eat and this and that. And I said, well, a diabetic should eat and you need to give me my shot. That's what a nurse is supposed to do. If you can't give me my shot, I'm used to giving my own. I'm not a good patient. I am not. Sorry, I stepped away from the computer for a few minutes. This was about Dale earlier that you can bring your meds in. As I had my acid reflux and allergy medication in my purse, says Anna. Um, they do not listen to you. Dale said, right, Sarah, I'm aware they don't like you to bring your own meds. It has been, what, 35 years since I've been admitted? Knock wood. And it's been a couple years for me. Sharon says, I don't care. I will have my husband bring me my meds because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Anna said, yipper Sandra. Dale said, me either, Les. Holly Gribble, hello. I'm not a good patient. I think it's because I know too much. And I know that a nurse is not supposed to give a patient major attitude, especially when they're not doing their job. You know? I mean, I can see if the census was up, but it wasn't. You know, because I can be patient. I understand. If your census is up and you got full beds, I understand. Things take time. You know, the labs take time. I understand that. But when a nurse can't sit there and give me my shot and record that they did, when I'm fully awake and I'm aware, and your meter is showing that you have not been giving me my shots, that's not my fault. That's not my fault. Just bring me the needle. I know my sugar was over 400 and they were going to give me 10 units. I said, you better slap 30 in there. Well, we don't want to bring it down too quick. I said, either that or I'm going to go into a stroke. I said, I guarantee you 30 units is not going to shoot that down that quick. I know my body. Liz, what type of diabetes do you have? 1 or 2? One paper says 2, another paper says 1. One thing they all agreed on was that it's been suspected that I have been glucose intolerant all my life. It's the only thing they've agreed on. But I don't know. Sandra says I have 2. I was diagnosed only because I told them to diagnose me. Like, I think I have diabetes. What makes you say that? Well, my friend's a nurse and she's been keeping track of my sugar and they're like over 400. Yeah, you're a diabetic. Of course, they did the test, but they figure I've been glucose intolerant all my life. And I said, well, that explains a lot of things. A lot. So, you know, but as long night shift at the hospital, they love me and I love them. Because on the cardiac, they won't even put me on the CCU unit anymore. They will not put me on a cardiac care unit because I told them, don't send me back up there to them quacks. I refuse to go to cardiac care. So they stick me in ICU. In the very last room, an ICU, and you go through those doors and down a hallway, and then you go into CCU, so I guess I'm close enough. And they give me a phone. Sam Rockwell, hello. And they give me a phone. I literally have my own room. It's like my office. Every time I go in there, because I refuse to go to CCU. I said they don't give me my medicines or nothing. But the nurse that's on there and the aides at night on CCU are fantastic. Because the nurse is like, we gotta stop meeting like this. I said, oh no. And she even remembered me from the year before. She said, okay, how many units you want? And how many shots did they give you? And I said, I don't think they gave me any. And she checked my chart. She said, well, they gave you one at a such and such time. And I said, no, they did not. And she said, great. So she'd say, how many units? And I'd say 30 units. Well, I said, first of all, what's my sugar? And this and that. And so she would take that, and just depending, she said, you know your body better than mine. And I was like, sometimes it'd be 15 units, sometimes it'd be 20 units. If it's shot way up there, give me 30 units. You know, it's not going to drop me that far. Bam Bam, hello. How you doing, Bam Bam? I'll be dead. What are you doing up this late? Liz, I'm a grandma now. Yay! His wife had a little boy on Wednesday night. Congratulations, yay, Bam. Oh, what'd they name him? Little baby healthy, mama healthy. It's got all 9 toes. Just kidding. Lip gloss kitten, hello. Forrest William, aww. Oh my god, I'm so happy for you. Nicole A, hello. He's home, I'll send you pics, Les. Oh my god. Is mama okay? Baby okay? Yes, everyone is fine, thanks. Aww. Lip gloss kitten, hello chat. Anna said congratulations, Bam. Bam Bam's thanks, guys. Dale said must be doing wonderful if he's home already. Woot woot. I hate that. Holly says sorry, hon. Holly says congratulations, Bam Bam. My brother and his wife just had a baby Monday. I think they released mamas and babies too soon. I always thought that, but hey. At least they weren't going home the same day. Aww. Awesome. Hey Les, we gotta do our Viking stream soon. Yeah. Yes. Maybe because of the COVID. Yes, Bam and I want to do a thing on Vikings. Dakota, hello. Nicole says, hey Bam, congratulations, Grandma. Oh, Bam, you're gonna love being a grandma. I recommend grandmotherhood or grandparenthood to everyone. I recommend it. Your history and Viking stuff. So now, you're back. You give me a call. Yeah, I do need to do that. I need to get everything together. And it says nothing like being a grandma. Nope, nothing like it. Because you can do whatever you want with a kid. It's not yours. Hey, kid's yours. You deal with everything. I just get to spoil it. That's all I get to do. You're the one's got to raise it. You make all the decisions for it. I just get to spoil it. And if I want to buy it bubbles and kites and chalk and motorized baby vehicles and stuff like that for indoors, then that's my prerogative. It says, you look great, Les. I've missed you. Well, thank you. I'm feeling better than what I was. Thank you. So far as that sounds great. Gets our minds off this off this bullshit, breath of fresh air. Yup. I'm a great grandma too, says Anna. I know that's right. Spoil it and send it home. Hell yeah. Sandra says, I'm waiting on my two grandson due the 29th on the 2nd. Yes. And the loudest toys that I can find. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Give her a hard time, guys. She's not been in touch with her friends for ages. No, I haven't. I really haven't. The only ones I've really been talking to is my mom. That's it. I talk to Cameron once in a while. My sister's been over twice. And that's it. When I say I went through depression, I went through depression. Being an aunt is pretty terrific too. It is. Unlike my sister, I did refrain from giving my nieces things that are meant to be noisy or messy. Uh-uh. I don't. My nephew had birthday November 12th. Sandra said, I'm coming to set your clocks. Yeah, I know, my clock is off. I have two nieces now, and they are 18 years apart. Wow. Sam said, drum sets are the best. I've done that. Yep. You sure did. I thought you had the Rona for a while. No, I didn't have the Rona at all. And it says, have given 3 grandson beginner drum sets. Not allowed to do that anymore. Sam says, I know what that's like, Les. I had it 2 Christmases ago. I remember. So I know, hon. It's good to see you. I remember, Bam. I remember. I asked Bam to call you. Yeah, she called me. She called me. We talked. Bam, I got my first grandson drums. Bam said you did, Connie. Connie was really worried. So was Greg. Yup, my neighbor across the street has COVID. Ooh. I have not seen Greggy. He's been in here. His future husband, ex-husband. Yeah, he's been in here. He'll come in during the day, and he's came in last evening. Even before. He hasn't been staying long, but I was worried about Les too. Aww. Buy Play-Doh. It's a nightmare. Oh, I've done that too. You know, I always bought my daughter drum sets to bother my ex-wife and her boyfriend who don't work. Good $600 sets too. Awesome. Send that to Sandra. The big containers. Oh, I'm telling you. And what's funny is my grandkids' parents think it's funny if they bring noisy shit over here. But what they don't understand is Brandon and I are great at tuning them out. We've had years of practice. I can go back here to bed, they could be playing that shit, and I would not hear a damn thing. Not a thing. Those kids could be running up and down the hall, screaming. I would not hear a damn thing. Nope. Sandra says we are wicked people. No, we just have great sense of humor. Mmm. Yup. And I said from now on, we're not buying things with little pieces anymore. Big stuff. I ain't stepping on it. So their mother thinks they're slick. And I send that shit home, and then they send it back. She sends it back in their overnight bags. My mom cursed me. I hope you have kids treat you as bad as you treat me. I know I was being sarcastic. Wham cursed me. My sister got my brother and his wife chips and salsa dish that had a button that played Mexican hat dance. Oh my god. My mom, she cursed us, but she never said as bad. She said, I hope your children act just the way you do, so you'll know what I'm going through. I got scars from Legos on my feet. Their 2-year-old daughter thought it was the coolest thing ever, and the battery was soon removed. I would love that. Yeah, I gave my kids the same thing. Sarah says we were never allowed to have Legos when I was a kid. I now know why. Bam Bam, he's got really long fingers. So I'm thinking surgeon and guitarist. Hell yeah. Or I was thinking pianist. Dale said that is more probably what she said, Les. And that is why I never had kids, says Holly. That's the curse, Les. Tim says, I'll send you a stack of pics. Oh, I love baby pics. I really do. I think babies are so cute and innocent. Fantastic Bam, he looks so cute. Can't wait to see the pics. Dale says, what are you gonna call him, Bam? Little Mite? You just have to let it sink in what you're gonna call him. Honey, I'll send you them in WhatsApp. I'll get you back on. Bam, I've tried like hell to get you on WhatsApp. I don't know how to search for people on WhatsApp. That's okay, Holly. I said it to mine, and they all got one just like them. Yeah, said, yeah, I struggle with apps. Me either, Les. I've tried. Bam has sent me her stuff, and I've asked for help. I literally asked for help. I think I'll call him Bori for his short name. Just like I call Zaya and Zach, that's their nicknames. Nina, that's her nickname. And she knows. She hears the name Nina because I'm one of only 2 people that call her that. That's okay, Liz. I'll get the thing sorted. Yeah, I don't know. Stan said, I'm hearing of this new app, Parlor. You can say or watch anything. Yeah. Dale says, we call Ashley Little B. I used to call Nina Little Mama when she was really young. Don't say that now. She's 10. She'll just look at you like, Oh, God. Sam, yes, all the Trumpers are going there because they don't fact check. Dale says, I can find their names. Lashley. Well, y'all know my nickname is Les. So, Anna, oh my gosh. Sorry, gotta go. Got to get up early babysitting, just remembered. So glad to see you. Big hugs and take care. Hope to see y'all soon. Anna, well, thank you for coming in, Anna. I hope to see you soon. As you know, I got a pup, don't you? No. Loki, the French Bulldog. No, I did not know. Oh, French Bulldogs are cute. At Holly, says Sam, but I can watch Alex Jones for the facts. It's spelled parlor and pronounced parlay. Yeah, but even the news media like CNN and all of them are calling it parlor. There's also Gab, which was unmoderated until some kitty porn people showed up. I'll send you pics of the little shite too. Oh, French Bulldogs are so pretty. Alex Jones strokes out on air. No kidding. Oh my god, he's going to bust a blood vessel one day. He truly is. I've been watching puppy videos and baby videos. Been watching those too. Those puppies are so cute. Holly Gribble. So he showed up at some Steal the Vote rally. It was hilarious. Oh, good God. For real. Those are good and calming. Oh, yeah. They're so cute. I love the little babies when they wake their daddies up. It's so cute. I can't do much with the name Wyatt, says Sandra, but I ask him, what time is it? And he says, hammer time. Our thing. Hammer time. Can't touch this. No, 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 no. Mm-mm-mm. Well, I know one thing. I know with my grandkids, I wouldn't trade them for the world no matter what. Even though they're Bebe's kids. And I call them that, and they're really not. I just call them that. I know Zaya, he loves it when I go up and says, where's my handsome man? He smiles, he cheeses it. I've been calling him my handsome man since he was a baby. And he just cheeses it. Where's my handsome man? And then Zach, I'll go, where's my bad boy? And he'll smile. It's like, are you my bad boy? He'll go, uh-huh. I love it. Can't touch this. Sandra said, Dale and Les, I'm stuck in your head right now. Now, that's pretty sad. It really is. Stuck in the head. Showing my age. And what's sad is I used to have parachute pants. I had yellow and black ones. I was in my early 20s. Yeah, what can I say? Showing the age, folks. Showing the age. I was sitting there just going through some stuff that's on my list. You know how they put up things suggested for you to watch on Facebook. Sanders, I'm 55, I'm 52. And they were coming up with all this stuff. And to me, it just seems brand new. And it's still new in my head. And it's like, damn, that was 40 years ago. I'm serious. And you see the artists that performed songs back then. You see them today, and it's like, man, they look old. Talk about reality check. I watched a reaction video to David Bowie Changes. Oh my god, I remember singing it with my best friend when it came out. And the song says, pretty soon you're going to get older. Here I am, 61 now, 45 years ago. David was an original. Yes, he was. Boy, his daughter is gorgeous. Have you seen her? Oh, she is so cute. Oh my gosh. I remember when she was born. She is so cute. I think she's like 18 now. Standard age is wisdom. Yes, wisdom does come with age. Yes. Just like Cameron said, you know, Iman being the mom, I can see. Yeah. I remember there was a hairstylist to the stars, and she said she was doing Iman's hair, and they were talking, and she said, boy, David he's really looking good. And she said, of course, darling, he's with me. Sucked Eddie Van Halen died. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I have survived this long. Seriously, says Sandra. Yeah. Boy, I saw a picture of him and I was like, man, he got old. And I'm sitting here because you remember, just like I look at the boys and I still see them as little boys. To me, they look like they did when they were little boys. And then every once in a while, I'll get a reality check, every once in a while. And, like, damn, they're not those little boys anymore. And I couldn't understand it when my one uncle told me, he said, and here I am 18 years old, and he says, I look at you and your sister and I still see pigtails. And I was like, oh, good God, you're going to have to get over that. Cheryl and I are not virgins. Cheryl and I are not little girls anymore. But I understand now, you know? Me too, Sandra. R.I.P. Eddie Van Halen. Yes, Eddie was sad. Yeah. Oh, that's so. It doesn't look like I'm going to finish my lasagna either. Whoop. I've had enough. Let me set that off to the side. Eddie might have been the best ever to play guitar. Top 3 for sure. Oh, I don't know. Probably. Probably. Um, yeah, he came to Texas about 25 years ago to be treated for cancer. Tongue, I believe. The pathologist that my bestie is very close with met them and said that they were both really down to earth. Aw. Tanner said, Sam, no, Jimi Hendrix is the best. Dale said he was impressed with Valerie Bertinelli. They weren't they weren't together then, were they? 25 years ago? She may be. Yeah, she may have been. Now that I'm thinking about it. It's a shame they split, but that was Eddie's fault. That was Eddie's fault. That one. They married and had a son. Yeah, Wolf. Wolf ended up playing in Van Halen. It was a long time ago, about 25, 30 years, I'm guessing. Yeah, they were married then. Yeah, but Wolf ended up playing in Van Halen. That's a group that self-destructed. Jimmy Page, David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Vincent. Stevie Ray Vincent are top 5. Haley, hello. Hey, Les, going to sleep, but we'll listen. Love you. You have a good night, hon. I hope you have sweet dreams. Sanders like I'm feeling old. Yell said, which frontman is better, David or Sammy? David. He was a basket case, but I think he was a better showman than Sammy. But apparently David has cleaned up and he's doing shows in Vegas. And he said they couldn't play fast with Sam. I think Dave Lee Roth was a better showman. all they made was ballads with Sam. The LBC, I Am Laughing. David was the better showman. He was. I mean, really, honestly, he really was. Um, and I liked David's solo effort too. You know, but he went that crap crazy for a while, and it was all the drugs and shit. But now he's cleaned up, and he's come back, and literally he's doing shows, or he was. I don't know if he still is. Doing shows in Vegas. DLR was well known for um stomping stopping in the middle of Jamie's crying and say, "I forgot the effing words." Oh, you know what? They've all done that. All of them have done that. People who attend multiple shows said he did that every night. Elvis did it. But there isn't an artist out there that you can talk to from country to rock and R&B, hip hop, all of them, even Barry Manilow. They've all forgotten words to their songs. So it was a stunt. He was on every drug, yeah. They, you name it. Um, Sometimes they just forget. You know, you know how actors forget lines. Well, singers forget words. Her name was Lola, and she was a showgirl. Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl. God, it seemed like every song Barry Manilow sang was a hit for about 2 years. Every freaking song. Not to mention, he made buku bucks from writing all those jingles for all those commercials for all those companies. He made money for years. And he even said himself, that's where the money's at. Back in the days of MTV News, one of the reporters told an artist, "We're doing a piece on musicians using teleprompters in concert," and they totally cracked up. Sam said, "Did you know David Lee Roth was an EMT in the Bronx, New York City for 5 years?" Yes, I knew that. Sandra said, "Dale, damn, it now. It's in my head." Tio, hello. I liked Mandy. So did I. I liked Barry Manilow, and I still like him today. Hello, Sandra. That was the idea. Sarah said, after the Joplin Missouri tornado hit about 10 years ago, that was bad. The Manilow Foundation donated $300,000 in instruments to the high school, which had been destroyed. Yeah, Delby says, did he finally come out? I don't know. The kids didn't know who he was, but their parents and even grandparents were there because they wanted to meet him. Sarah said, oh heck, Barry Manilow got married a few years ago to his male partner of 40 plus years. Awesome. He was briefly married to a woman when he was very young. Yeah, that's true. Neil Diamond was the man. Sandra said, I love Janis Joplin. Um, I love watching the React videos, and I love it. There's a set of twins. They're black teenage boys, and they'll sit and listen, and they've been listening to all this old stuff, and they were like, man, this was music. Janice, gone too young, I think 27. A lot of them died at 27. Cracklin Rose, says T.O. I like Neil Diamond. I watched the movie The Jazz Singer, and I had the soundtrack album to it. They come into America. They coming to America today. Today. Yep. Has anyone here seen Heavy Metal Parking Lot? It's here on YouTube. If you haven't, check it out. Heavy Metal Parking Lot, y'all. Check it out. Dale, yes, the 27 Club, they call it. Dale said, you're a store-bought woman, but you make me sing like a guitar humming. Sarah said, there's a follow-up called Neil Diamond Parking Lot. They aren't all that different, except everyone's wearing shirts in that one, and there's no profanity. Yes, it sounds like something I will check out later, Sarah. Sarah said, don't forget the Barry Manilow challenge that finally made it on here. If Barry Manilow came to Columbus for a concert, I would probably go. Or I would have if it wasn't for COVID. I would probably go. But then again, if Hart, I would definitely go if Hart would come. If Janet Jackson would come for a concert, I'm definitely trying to get tickets on that one. Mr. Manley needs to lay off Botox, however, no kidding. Sanders said, does he still tour? From what I understand, he does something here and there, but he doesn't actually tour. Not from what I heard. Hart and who else? Missed that. I'm Janet Jackson. Miss Jackson, because I'm nasty. Oh, you nasty boy. I think he does a lot of Vegas shows. Sam said, does Tom Jones still get his freak on in Vegas? Tom Jones, oh my god, he can still sing. He does judging on Britain's Voice, The Voice in Britain. Janet Jackson allegedly had a baby a couple years ago. She did have a baby a couple years ago. Showed her pregnant ass and everything. And that baby is so cute. So cute. My mom was a fan of Engelbert Humperdinck. Dale said, remember him? I remember him. But Tom Jones, he can still belt it out, and girls, believe it or not, still think he's the cutest and will sit there and scream for him. I'm like, how do you guys even know him? Sandra, Les, are we going to listen to music when I get there and dance? This girl don't shake no more because, you know, my flab won't stop. They say Tom Jones had the most panties thrown at him. My parents saw Engelbert Humperdinck a few years ago. They said he did a great show, says Sarah. Yeah, I was watching Tom Jones. You know how the judges will sit there and sing, like on The Voice, whatever. And like I said, he does the one in Britain. And so's will.i.am's on there, too. will.i.am is on The Voice, Britain's The Voice. Well, anyway, Tom Jones got up there singing, and oh my god, that crowd just went crazy. I'm like, how do these young'uns know who he is for real? Oh my god. And he can still belt it out. I think he's still cute. Really. I do. I think he's still cute. Sarah, documentary, do you mean Heavy Metal Parking Lot? Grandma draws. Sarah, Tom Jones was married to his teenage sweetheart for more than 50 years. Yep. Sarah said Tom Jones' pants so tight you could see it all. Dale said I would rather Tom Jones over Wayne Fig Newton. Oh, oh, don't do that to Wayne Newton. He's from where I live. He's actually from Newark. Still has family here. Of course, it's the next generation, but he still has family here. But Wayne Newton is from Newark, and but the strange thing is, he never claims it. He never claims Newark, but he used to come when I was young. I mean, kid young. He used to come and visit. He used to visit his family all the time, but he would never claim he was from Newark, but he is from here. Dale, don't hate on Wayne. Dale says, Sandra, I was watching old Led Zeppelin concerts. Same with Robert Plant's pants. Oh, they all wore them tight back then. And you know who else is from Newark? And I met her family, and that's Sharon Gless, the actress. Doesn't claim it. And I'm like, well, your house was right there, northwest Newark. That's where you lived. I'm like, Cagney and Lacey, yeah. Sharon Gless. Yep. And how I met her family was that a guy I went to school with, John, ended up being my boss when I worked at Taste of Italy. And his mom owned a craft store. And his mom's been his grandma. His grandma's been around forever, and sweetest lady you ever want to meet. And she knew him. And that's how I met him. Sandra, I was watching old Led Zeppelin. Says, I know, I really won't. He made a butt ton of money. I wonder if they stuff stocks down there. Sam said, did you say Nurk? Yep. No, Nurkaha, where I'm from. He's from my town. My town, where I live. And Sarah says, I grew up in Des Moines. I'm not the least bit surprised that something like Slipknot came out of there. Sam said, Nurkaha. Yeah, Nurkaha. Sam said, oh, I was going to say. Nurk. Well, yeah, Newark. Ugh. Nurk. But they don't, for some reason, they don't claim it, and I don't understand why. Maybe they don't want their families messed with. I don't know. But it's not like they've never been here to visit. So, you know. Because this town is small. But it's not like anybody pissed with him either when Wayne would come. Well, I was too young. I of course didn't know, but it's not like it hit the papers or anything. Nobody pissed with him. Wait, what band is from your town but won't admit it? Wayne Newton is from my town, literally from Newark, and so is Sharon Gless, the actress. Only person from around these parts I know is Lyle Lovett, says Dale. I like Lyle Lovett. He's got pretty eyes, but I think he's got pretty eyes anyway. Sarah, sorry, I'm otherwise occupied right now. That's okay. I understand, Sarah. It's just funny when everybody here knew it. But apparently, when they would come to visit, nobody cared. I mean, they weren't attacked. They weren't. So, but they won't admit it. They've never said. And what little old man from Texas, ZZ Top? Oh, yeah. ZZ Top. You know, I forget how much they had that car insured for. Because apparently, it was stolen twice. I just want that damn keychain. Sarah says, when Lyle Lovett and Julia Roberts were married, he performed in Des Moines and they went to a street fair and nobody bothered him. Dakota says, hey, I'm back. Sorry, I get really busy with people trying to call me and stuff. Shit, haha. Welcome back, Dakota. The guitarist for ZZ Top did 25 years in prison. Really? I did not know that. Sandra says, well, I lived in Owensboro, Kentucky, and Florence Henderson and Daryl Waltrip and Michael is from there, and Johnny Depp won't admit it. I thought Johnny Depp was English. Sarah, my favorite Sharknado moment was when ZZ Top wore extras in Sharknado 2. Sam Rockwell in Texas. Sarah said they were running around in a subway with a bunch of other people. Dakota said, love the backwards hat look. Thank you. I love ZZ Top. They were the shit. Sanders said, no, he fake. Everyone else admitted it. Who's fake? Who's fake, Sandra? Johnny Depp? So he's not from England? What the hell is he doing with a sport in an English accent? I thought he was from England. Anna says, my favorite band is The Police. Saw the reunion tour in New Orleans 2007. Don't stand so close to me. Don't stand so close to me. ZZ Top and Hot for a Teacher were the best videos on MTV. I'm hot for a teacher. Dale said, cannot find where any member of ZZ Top spent time in prison. Dale said, I know Don Henley did time. He's from Texas also. Didn't Johnny Paycheck do time in prison? Sam says before they started ZZ Top. Watch Jump Street, 21 Jump Street, and Johnny is not British. My sister used to watch that shit all the time, and I used to ignore it. She loved 21 Jump Street. Johnny looks like he hasn't bathed in a couple months. Johnny is American. Anna says, I love the drummer Stuart Copeland for the Police. Have since I was 9. David Crosby did time, I think. A lot of them did. No, the coolest dude with the drums was the guy with the Stones. Well, yeah, he just sat there. It's not like he had major drum moments. You can sit back and chill. Him and Mick Fleetwood just know the basic Drum moves, there you go. In Huntsville, says Dale, if I'm not mistaken, right up the road. My cousin worked for TDJC for 25 years. Nice pension. Dale says, I like the police. Anna says, most people love Sting if they love the police. Sarah said, Charlie Watts could do a lot with a small drum kit. Oh, maybe it's just me, because I never heard it. But to me, the greatest drummer besides what is a tie between Bonham and Neil Peart. That's a tie. Drummer from Led Zeppelin was the best ever. It's a tie between him and Neil from Rush. Yep, and they're both gone. It's a tie. But Bonham's son, now he sounds like his daddy on the drums. You're a badass. Sam said Led Zeppelin had the best of everything and every instrument and lead singer. He in the Sahara is my favorite police song. Dreamy. Tanner said, Les, we need to go to Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I've been 2 times and it's great. I've never been. I would love to go. Sir, the respect shown to Neil Peart after his death has only recently been eclipsed almost by that given to Alex Trebek. Yeah, it's a shame about Alex. Phil Collins also in the air tonight in concert when he gets on the drums. Pretty dramatic. Phil definitely has, you can always tell a Phil Collins drum. You can always tell a Phil Collins drum. He definitely has a specific drum style. Same with Bonham. Don Henley is also a drummer. Jason Bonham has had a respectful career in his own right. Yeah, and I loved when he had that group Bonham, and they were starting to go places. And the lead singer, I argued with a friend of mine. She swore up and down that Robert Plant did the song. There was a song "Wait for You," and of course Bonham played the drums, and the lead singers. My friend Teresa said that's Robert Plant, and I said no, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. But he sounded a lot like Robert Plant. But he ended up dying, so they disbanded the group. Phil Collins can play those drums. He definitely. I know a Phil Collins drum. I don't even have to be told. What about the one-armed drummer from what's that band, Def Leppard? Yeah. Almost 40 years later, he's still at it. You know, those guys are real friends because most bands would probably have just gone out and found a new drummer. Mm-hmm. Yep, he swore he was going to let it hold him back. Right, Sarah? I read something that he had the other arm cut off, but you said that was just shite, right? Uh, I don't like Jethro Tull, says Sandra. I thought his other arm, he had it hanging out a window and a truck took it off. I've been to 2 Def Leppard concerts. They kick ass. Gotta love Joe Elliott. Sarah said no, Rick Allen still has his other arm. Where is it? Does he have it on ice somewhere? I used to work at a clinic that had rather interesting music played over the PA system, and my favorite was Living in the Past. Dale said, good to know, Sarah. I cannot imagine that a doctor would just lob off an arm. Sarah said, with that melody played on a trombone. Sarah said, Rick Allen's arm is still attached to his body. Then why is he playing one-handed? Journey opened for Def Leppard. They were good too. I love Journey. And at that time, when Def Leppard, I don't see Journey opening for Def Leppard at that time because Journey was its own mega band. I know there are people who want their extremities cut off. Ew. Dead arm? Maybe? He lost his left arm in a car accident in the early 80s. His other arm is still alive and well, and part of him. He also uses foot pedals. I know he uses foot pedals. I knew he had one arm. He had an accident and lost his arm. But then I read recently where he had the other removed just for the F. Oh no. Oh, that's what you're talking about. No, he still has one arm. I think Journey and Def Leppard toured together a few years ago and switched opening and headlining parts. Anna says they did at Oak Mountain in Alabama. Bam, Alabama. I'm going to see if Snopes says anything about that, says Sarah. He had like 6-foot pedals. Dale said, please do, because it was so weird, Sarah. Well, I know. Well, no. Rick Allen still has his other good arm. He never had it cut off. That was a great concert. It was raining. I hate going to outdoor concerts when it's raining. I really do. I really hate that. I got caught once. I swore never again. Anna said I was drunk. Sarah said after the accident in 1984, his left arm was reattached but had to be amputated when it didn't take. Sam says rain sucks at shows. It really does. Unless I had one of those big ass golf umbrellas and there's no wind. And I had a chair. Except for uh, Sam said, except for Prince at the Super Bowl. What's the weather like in calm right now? Cold. Sarah said I'd actually be afraid of lightning. Prince played Purple Rain while it was pouring at Super Bowl. I tell you what, Purple Rain in the rain, that would be awesome. Purple Rain's a great concert song anyway. Prince rocked the hell out of White, My Guitar Gently Weeps at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If you have not seen it, watch it. KLB said crazy good. Dakota, that would be awesome. Is there snow? No, there's no snow on the ground where I live. Hasn't been that cold. Prince stole the show for that My Guitar Gently Weeps. Sanders said that's cool. I've seen it. It was wonderful. He did, Sam. When he leaned back off the stage, I about died, said Dale. Dakota said, there's snow here. Well, you can keep it. And he said, my friend's got big beer and a guitar. We had seats. It was summer. Still have that guitar somewhere. Sandra went, Dale, cool. Sam says, keep it all. Dakota said, I love Steven Tyler. Do you ever listen to him? When I listen to Aerosmith, I do. I don't have any Aerosmith albums, CDs, nothing like that, though. It was kind of like a James Brown cape move. What was with the cape? I watched before James Brown died. I watched him do an interview with this newscaster, and oh my god, first of all, he didn't know she was there for like 5 minutes, and she was trying to get his attention, laughing. And then every question she asked him, he answered with the title of a song. Everyone. Dale says, I like snow from the inside looking out. Show Me Pink Floyd. Show Me Pink Floyd was the best. Man, I used to go to sleep to their Off the Wall album. Or Another Brick in the Wall, I think is what's called. Pink Floyd Time, one of the best albums of the day. Aerosmith. I love Aerosmith, says Sandra. Sam said Dark Side of the Moon, top 5 album ever sold. Yeah, I like that. I like that album. Right, Sam? I stand corrected. Yeah. Dale, we love same music. That was a good album. So when I was 16, I thought The Wall was the greatest piece of music ever made, and now I can't stand to hear anything from it. Really? I still love Comfortably Numb. That song will make you high if you're not. Sam says because you heard it too much. I'm telling you, Comfortably Numb to this day. That song will literally make you high if you are not high. By the time you're done, you feel like you've just been shot up with some shit. Who produced Comfortably Numb? I don't know who produced the album, but it was a Pink Floyd song. Hale said it's a flashback, man. But you gotta give Floyd props. David Gilmour, yeah. Nicole A. Smoke, funny and listen to him. Heck yeah. You can get high from that song. You can get high just from listening to Pink Floyd anyway. The live version of Rush's by tour and the Snow Dog does that to me. Yeah, Rush can do that. David Gilmour, the guitarist for Pink Floyd, can play like 40 different types of guitars. Rosie Leon, hello. Hello, my love. I texted you. You never texted me back. I texted you on the phone. I think the phone might be charged now. It's always dead. Mad props because I can't read music or play an instrument to save my life. I go by ear. Rosie, are you at work, hon? Like, you get me drunk, I can play In the Air Tonight on the drums. Don't ask me why. But my friend Michelle had drums, and she had them sitting over at a friend's house of hers, and she took me over there. I was drunk. Went downstairs, there was the drums, and next thing you know, I just started playing it, and I just did it by ear. And then I just started, I was doing it quietly, and the next thing you know, I just started playing it. And they all came downstairs. They're like, "We didn't know you knew how to play." I said, "Neither did I." Yeah, working, but I am listening. Awesome, awesome. Did the same thing with piano. I have to play it by ear. I taught myself a couple songs on that. And one of the songs I taught myself was The Rose. Believe it or not, on the piano. And the guitar is a little harder for me to play by ear. But the piano and the drums I can play by ear. Do you remember WKRP scene with pigs and animals? And Carlson said, "Do you hear animals?" And Johnny said, "Do you?" Funny. No, I don't remember that. Nicole said, "Cool, Les." Sam said, "Drums are by memory. You'll never hear the same be exactly the same." Dale said, "I sucked at Xbox Rockstar or whatever it was called. I could sing, but forget playing guitar or drums. I failed every time." Sarah said, "I taught myself to play the entertainer. That was about all I could play." Dakota said, "Liz, do you have any pets?" No. Had them most of my life, though. But you gotta give, I was gonna say, you guys gotta give Pink Floyd some credit. Because back in the day, Pink Floyd, if you've ever seen one of their concerts, they would have these huge things out on stage. What were they? Maybe Sandra can help me. Like the pig or something like that. And these things were like 100 feet tall. Pink Floyd was different. Poor Les Nessman. Oh, I know. These things were huge. And that was they spent money on their stages. And that was something that people had never seen for real, at the time. And then with their chill, I mean, it was just fantastic. I've seen the pictures of the inflatable pigs and sheep based on their album Animals. Yep. Saw Rolling Stones twice in concert. I never was a Rolling Stones fan. Sandra said, "Yes, true Les." Yeah, it was. I mean, it was the shit. Ooh, shady. I got to see them once in Houston. I never was a Stones fan. How long has Keith Richards been dead? 30 years now? He's a living skeleton. A living dead person. I call him the human zombie. He's looked dead for 30 years. Dale said just looked into floor seats at face value about $35 when they came for their Street Wheels tour. Sam said they had 20 guys on stage playing at once. It's like a symphony. Sanders said they got them hanging in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Dale's, well, Les, after the apocalypse there will be cockroaches, Cher, and Keith Richards, says Sarah. Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true. Oh god, that's sad. Do y'all remember the band in Living Color? Yep. Love them. What happened to them? I don't know. How about ELO? Gotta love ELO. That was one of my groups when I was young, growing up. Gotta love ELO. Turn into Stone. That has got to be one of the shits right there. God, they had hit after hit after hit. Um, what is it? Rock and Roll's King. Um, I'm surprised I haven't heard Cult of Personality since all this happened. Yeah, yeah. ELO had a ton of hits. Dia is one of my all-time ELO favorites. Yeah, that was another one. I mean, they just had. And you know who introduced me to ELO? We had an exchange student named Timo from Finland. He was our first exchange student, and he's the one that introduced me to Supertramp, ELO, all of them. He introduced me to them, and I was like, "Oh, this is great!" And he would come out and he'd say, Leslie, he said, "I think you might like this song," and he'd play it, and he'd say, "You want to put it on the stereo?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's put it on the stereo," and we'd just listen to the whole album. We just sit there in the den. He literally was like a big brother to me. He really was. Telephone Line, that's another one. Sade is good too. Uh, Music to Get Frisky. Supertramp was great. What was that one song? Oh, Breakfast in America. I loved Supertramp's Breakfast in America. That was. Take a look at my girlfriend. She's the only one I got. Not much of a girlfriend. I never seem to get a lot. I always remember. Uh, yeah, evil woman. Eberhard, hello. She's the only one I got. Not much of a girlfriend. We never seem to get a lot. They played that song at Walmart. You gotta love Breakfast in America. I think that was one of their iconic songs. Of course, they had. What is some of their other songs that Supertramp had? I can't remember. I know they were hits, and I know them if I heard them. I just can't remember names. The 70s was one of my favorite decades for music. Mine was the 80s and 90s. But the end of the 70s, because that's when Heart and all them came out. Um, Dreamer, such a little dreamer. Disco. The only disco I was really into was Donna Summer. Damn, said Supertramp had like 10 top 10 hits easy. Yeah. Hale said who loved disco. I was more into rock, but I did like Donna Summer. Then you put your head in your hands. Oh no. Oh no. Donna Summer was the shit, yeah. Standard disco sucks. You gotta love Disco Duck though. I remember when that came out. That was so funny. KC and the Sunshine Band, yeah. Well, you know, KC lived around here, so he still does, actually. I forget what his real name is, but he lives near here. So he was kind of big here. I remember when Kiss jumped on the disco band. I know. I was so upset with him for that. I was so upset with Kiss. Thank God they only did it for the Dynasty album, and that was it. Thank God. Because I loved Kiss. So, Casey got arrested, didn't he? His drummer, not his drummer, one of his guitar players I know did. I remember he was, and I think was his guitar player was like Casey was let go, but I think it was a guitar player. It was a member of his band, and he actually stopped down the street, the corner store when he got out. He was on his way to go see Casey. We had discussion a while back. It was a bandmate, yeah, who was arrested for messing around with underage kids. Yeah. It was a band member. No, I remember him getting arrested for something to do with young girls in the last 5 years. He was arrested. That's how people found out what house he lived in. He was arrested, but I can't even remember exactly what he was arrested for. But I don't recall him doing time at all. But I know a band member did. So, and yet again, he could walk around and nobody rushed him, nobody rushed his house or anything like that. Jerry Reed, Amos Moses, left arm gone clean up to the elbow. When Alex Lifeson was arrested in the early 2000s, one newspaper printed his home address. Whoa, they printed his address. It was in a gated community and they wouldn't let gawkers in for obvious reasons. Well, of course not. Gary Glitter got arrested for being a pedo. He and his son got drunk and got into a scuffle with a cop, and it was in the city where he lived, Naples, Florida, if I recall right. I don't even know who that is, Alex Lifeson. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't do names well. Not at all. He's a guitarist for Rush. Or he was anyway. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I remember a father whose child had been molested. He waited for the guy at the airport and blew him away right there. Jeez. Wow. I'd probably want to do the same thing. That's why it scares me with my granddaughter. Oh my god, I am so scared for her. You know, she may be 10, but she has like no concept of boys. Really. You know? Um, and the boys are starting to have the concept of her. And it's scaring the hell out of me. How many people think Michael Jackson was guilty? Sam says, I remember that. He was hiding by the phone booth. I know there are a lot of Michael Jackson fans out there. They're saying anyone with a disability is at extra risk for sexual exploitation. I know, and it scares me because she's 10, but she doesn't have the mind of a 10-year-old. You know, she's younger in her mind. In other areas, she's older. Um, but when it comes to stuff like that, she's younger and she has no concept. I mean, she knows there's a difference between boys and girls, but he was a great artist, yeah, says Dale. I'm conflicted. I don't want to believe he did. Well, thank God you got a open carry state. Yeah, I got an open carry state. Sam says, I don't think he was guilty. That show on HBO didn't convince me. It seemed like once the choreographer realized he couldn't dance for the Michael Jackson tribute that he came out with that accusation. So she has difficulty with boundaries. Mm-mm. No, she doesn't have difficulty with boundaries. She just doesn't realize, the relationship between boy and girl. By the time I was 10, I knew there was a difference, and I knew what little boys could do. Boyfriend, girlfriend, that kind of thing. She has no concept of that. She, to her, she's like still 8 years old. Boys, ew. I mean, she likes to have boys as friends, but beyond that, ew. I've had doubts ever since I saw his daughter speak at his memorial service. Dale, yes, I agree. Dale said, we will never know. I think Sam says she probably doesn't know how slobs little boys are. She has two younger brothers. I think she knows. Dale said, we can all agree that he was rather strange. Sarah said, sounds like she thinks that dating is no different than regular friendship. I don't know. I really don't know how she, because I know it's like she'll mention some little boy's name and I'll be like, is he your boyfriend? Ew, no, grandma. No. But she's just, I'm so scared for her. I just really am. Um, I just, you know, it's just she's just so pretty and she's just herself and innocent and I just oh why ain't Woody Allen canceled? Why ain't Woody Allen in jail? I know that's right, Sam. We don't know either. Dale said, other than he married his stepdaughter. Cringe factor. Well, apparently his stepdaughter is way too old for him because he's looking at other things now, from what I hear about Woody Allen. But that was only in the news for like 2 seconds and then it was gone. Like you didn't hear anything else. I try not to keep up with that stuff anymore. It's so depressing. If you married your stepdaughter at 20, that means that like 16 and 17, you were finding her attractive. Ugh. They said not officially a stepdaughter because he and Mia Farrow never married. Their kids are also adopted. Exactly. Ronan Farrow looks exactly like Frank Sinatra. Well, you can tell that's his son. There's no denying that. None. Same thing with Roman Polanski. Yeah. Dale said she was with Frank, right? I think she just had a fling with him. How about Jack Nicklaus's son? You mean the golfer, or do you mean Jack Nicholson? Callie was 14 when her boyfriend threatened to kill her. She just now is dating again at 17. Rosemary's Baby, his eyes. What's wrong with his eyes? Jack Nicklaus's son looks just like him when he was 20. Michael Hunt, hello. Mia and Frank were married around the time she made Rosemary's Baby. They divorced, but I don't think they ever completely ended their relationship. He's the double dumb woman. uh. You know, I can't keep this relationship straight from back then. I think they were all dating each other behind the scenes. Did anyone see the Quentin Tarantino movie Hollywood? Uh-uh. I think the only Quentin Tarantino movie I've ever seen is Pulp Fiction. I think that's the only one. I think. Was Kill Bill a Quentin Tarantino movie? Sucked. And it wasn't factual. Carol the Tiger Lady, hello. Hello, Les. How are you? I'm good. How are you? Pulp Fiction soured me on Tarantino. Sam Rockwell said, yeah. True Romance, so good. I did watch the Kill Bill 1 and 2. It made me want to go out and get a samurai sword. Just start cutting everybody up. um, Kill Bill was awesome. Oh, I tell you what, I loved the music when she went into I think it was Lucy Liu that played the one character, and they had that band playing. That was funny. Cheeseburger Royale with cheese. Carol the Tiger Lady, fine, thanks. Just finished feeding the cats. Awesome, awesome. Carol the Tiger Lady saying hello to everyone. I thought the soundtrack to that, I bought the soundtrack to that movie. I loved their fight scene. I did. I loved the fight scene between her and Lucy Liu. It's just, you know, Uma Thurman just going through kicking everybody's ass. I think that's the only movie I've ever liked her in. I'll be honest with you. And have you ever noticed Uma Thurman's hands are huge? I was like, look at her hands, they're huge. That movie was funny at times, says Carol. Yeah, I know. It was funny at times. But have you ever seen Uma Thurman's hands? Uma Thurman's hands? They're huge. She's very tall. No kidding. Sam says her feet are big too. I never really looked at her feet, but her hands, I'm like, she's got the biggest hands of anyone, any woman I have ever seen. And then next thing I know, I saw this movie where she was in it, and she had, I think it was called Hands. I think that was the name of the movie or something. And she literally had these huge ass hands. Of course, you can tell there was a prosthetic on it, but oh my god, I thought somebody else noticed she had huge hands. Sam said she's 5'11". Sandra said she creeps me out. Sam said I seen that creepy movie with hands. That was creepy. Yeah. Okay, come on. This stupid thing. Now you guys have me singing Crackin' Rosie. um yeah. I hate this upgrading bullshit. I really do. Yeah, I saw where it was lagging and buffering. This upgrading bullshit. More technology gets supposedly better. To me, it gets worse. Pick up the babies and grab the old ladies. Different song, same artist. I'm looking. Um, what is the Freddy song? Where's which Freddy song? The one that goes 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock the door. I remember that scene in The Jazz Singer when his father ripped his pocket. Yeah. Carol says, Les, do you think we are being conditioned for the mark, us, or future? Future. This is not the time of the mark yet. No, not the time yet. They'll be ooh, scary. Sam says, I feel something bad is going to happen. Oh, yeah, the other shoe's going to drop. Okay, that is what I was thinking too. I thought barcodes were the mark. No. Where am I, bonkers? Barcodes are not going to be the mark. Sam says you can feel it in the air. Yeah, you can. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. People have been saying barcodes are the mark for decades. They aren't. They're not. I have my theory on what the mark is. And if you read, I can tell you what I think the my theory is. If you want to hear it. So Carol says, "Tell us, Les. What should be what should we be watching for?" Well, first of all, you, this is where you really need to read not only Revelation, but you really need to read the Old Testament, especially Daniel. Because in Daniel, towards the end of the book of Daniel, you'll be reading about a conversation Daniel is having with an angel. Well, that angel, and like I said, you have to really study. It happens to be Jesus himself. But of course, Daniel doesn't know it. He just sees him as an angel because Jesus doesn't happen until the New Testament starts, and Daniel's in the Old Testament. They've not had the proclamation of Jesus yet. So, in the early 1980s, I first heard a story about a computer in Belgium that had information about every person on Earth in it. A few years ago, I read about the Mandanium in Belgium, which was a compilation of all the knowledge they can compile at that time in Atlas Obscura. They say that there's hidden chambers around the world with all the knowledge, but when I read that, I knew immediately that this was the computer called the Beast that I had been told about. Most of it was on index cards. Yeah, I went, wow, trippy. Carol said, Les, you were saying. Well, anyway, um, so when you're reading Revelation, when you read Daniel, it tells you um, exactly when events are going to unfold in Revelation, and um, the Antichrist or Satan comes to be and things like that. Now, in order to receive the mark, the reason why I'm telling you Daniel is important because it tells you what to look for in Revelation. Um, there are numerous protected information repositories all over the world, plus the seed vault in Svalbard. So in the middle of tribulation, Satan will come out and he will pronounce himself God. And in Daniel, it'll say, blessed are those who survive the next 45 days. That's when all hell will break loose on Christians. And in order to do commerce, it tells you in Revelation, you must have the mark of the beast. Of course, it sounds similar to now, but it isn't now. It's not. But it tells you several times in Revelation, you must have wisdom. It warns you several times, you must have wisdom. And the mark of the beast is the one thing. Don't Jewish people want it to jump off because Jesus can't come back until the world is in destruction? No. Sugar, hello. So, what'll happen is that the mark of the beast is the one unforgivable sin. The one thing God has never forgiven. Never. Is the one thing God has never ever forgiven. He had destroyed the world before over it. He has forgiven murder. He has forgiven suicide. He has forgiven pedophilia. As long as the people ask for it. As long as you ask for it, truly ask for forgiveness. He has forgiven everything. But this one, he says he can never, ever forgive. And that is messing with the DNA. An actual, like, tattoo? No. It is messing with your DNA. Your DNA is there for a reason. And it's that messing of the DNA that back in biblical time, where you had the fallen angels and their offspring, and they were messing with the DNA, and it tells you when you study, it tells you that they messed with the daughters of Earth. They messed with the animals. They messed with anything that had a DNA, trees. They messed with it. It talked about the behemoths and leviathans. You know, um, you should have topics now on so we don't argue over politics. Les is good at storytelling and true crime. Oh, well, thank you. So that is the one unforgivable sin. He has never, and he destroyed the earth over it. He's not going to destroy the earth because a bunch of people had sex and got drunk. He's not going to do it. But it's the messing of the DNA. You don't mess with the DNA. Like I said, I have to go downstairs and I have to go through a ton of boxes to find where I told you all before that a molecule is a molecule. You cannot change a molecule. Water molecule is a water molecule. An air molecule is an air molecule. Salt molecule is a salt molecule. You cannot change a molecule. And the molecule, this one guy did a research, and it's a long story, but he wanted to know, you have the God particle. He wanted to know what they call it the Jesus glue. He wanted to know what kept a human being together. And of course, you say the diaphragm. Okay. What's in that diaphragm? And they found a molecule of a cross. Don't mess with the DNA. So the mark has to be given. You have to accept it. It cannot be forced on you. You have to accept the mark. And by accepting the mark, you are denying God. He cannot forgive that. This is why it tells you in the Bible, you must have wisdom. Now, the God particle, that's what they had the CERN collider. The moment the universe was made, they called that the God particle. The moment the universe was made. The Big Bang. They call that the God particle. So they call this the Jesus glue. Because Jesus said, I will never leave you. So what is going to be, how is Satan going to be able to mess with the whole world's DNA in this certain period of time? And this is where you must have wisdom. Things have to be in place for this to happen. What do you think it could be that people would take willingly to mess with your DNA? A vaccine? Kind of. Kind of. It's not this. It's not the COVID. It's not. So don't get worried. What it is, and this has to be after Satan has declared himself God on earth. Okay? So there will be, Sam says, I'm not playing with Mother Nature. So there will be at this time a situation where this God on earth will say, look, we have these diseases or this and that, and my blood, what I have in my body, can give you everlasting life, can make you live forever, disease free. There will be no more cancer. There will be no more diseases. There will be, there will be no more of anything to make you sick. My blood will cure you. And that's a theory on how it would start. And that we can make a vaccine because I am God. This is how I will have you live forever. And it has to be a choice for you to take it. Because this is your choice, God or not. That's why it tells you you must have wisdom. Now that's one of the theories that it could be done, because that would reach the whole entire world. Who wouldn't want to live forever? That's what people and doctors have always wanted, for people to live as long as they can. Who wants to die? Nobody. Especially if you believe Earth is heaven, which some do. You're not supposed to die in heaven. This is how he's going to keep us alive. There's several ways that this can go around. Snickerdoodle, hello. There's several ways that this could be administered. And it'll be when you take this vaccine, which it has to be something that you're given a shot. It's the only way you can do commerce then. It will be the only way. And it tells you in there, the only way you can do commerce. Now, it has to show up, and it says in the Bible, it'll show up on the back of your hand or your forehead. So there has to be something injected into you, and there could be some kind of a splotch or something, a dark spot maybe, or it's something that you can show that you can do commerce, that you can do trade, that you can buy and sell. And in the meantime, those that don't accept it, those are the Christians that are in the know. And they're skeptical to take anything like that. And they will be killed. That's why Jesus says, bless those who survive it, who survive the next 45 days. And why do you say only 45 days? Because that's when the trumpet starts sounding. And it tells you on which trumpet Jesus arrives, or the great rapture. So, and I know there have been scholars who have said, what are these 45 extra days? Because there's X amount of days at the beginning of tribulation and X amount of days for the end of tribulation, and they're so black and white with it. And then here comes Jesus saying, bless those who survive 45 days. Well, they're saying, where are the extra 45 days coming from? And they're tacking it on to the end like Jesus needs 45 days to separate everybody. Are you serious? Since when did God need 45 days to do anything? You know, he already knows. He knows now. There's no extra 45 days. But if you read Daniel and if you read Revelation, it'll start to correlate. And so, but there's got to be something for people to want this vaccination. And those that know that say, no, I don't want it, they will die. They will be killed. And that's all there is to it. Which it tells you in Revelation. But there's things that have to happen first. And what people don't realize is that the first 3.5 years of tribulation are going to be great for the world. Everybody's going to live well. There's going to be peace in the world. There's going to be plenty of food. There's going to be plenty of money. People are going to live good the first 3.5 years of tribulation. Everybody thinks the whole 7 years is going to be bad. Well, no. The last 3.5 years will be living hell on earth. Living hell. But is that for our generation? Who knows? Me personally, yeah, I think so. Yeah, so got to get to bed. Been fun. Talk soon and love each other. You too, Sandra. Take care. Thanks for coming in. Les, what starts it all? The breaking of the seals. Sticker says, I'm going to die because I don't want to take the vaccine because it's being rushed. This isn't it. This COVID thing is not it. It's not it. There's things that have to come. Personally, I think the first of the seals have been broken. I really do think the first couple, 3 actually, have been broken. Some say tribulation won't start until after the 7 seals are broken. Some say tribulation starts when the first seal is broken. But there was a passage in the Old Testament, and I've yet to find it, where when they say, oh really, that's the part I don't understand. Alright, how do I want to say this? There was a passage in the New Testament, and I cannot remember where I read it, and I did not make a mark. I highlighted or even a mark that I should, but where it says that that Jesus came to conquer. The first time to conquer, and he did. But like the Jews, they don't believe he did because they were expecting. I don't understand what gets everything according to Scripture. I mean, I'm trying to get to that. Velveteen Lace, hello. I'm getting to that. They don't believe it because the Jews were expecting this warrior to save them from Rome, to do the fighting. They didn't understand that Jesus conquered because he said, even Jesus was saying, give unto the, Caesar what is Caesar's. Give unto the Lord what is the Lord's, and that is your heart and soul. You can give the material stuff away. I'm giving you hope. you know? And it was foretold in Psalm 21. Everything was foretold in Psalm 21, which culminated the ending of the cross. Psalm 21. So, of course, nobody believes it, but he conquered in freeing you on the thought that it doesn't matter what happens on earth. What matters is what you do and what happens in heaven. The riches you build in heaven is not the gold and silver that you gain on earth. That isn't it. Once you free yourself with that, you're free. you know? So what starts it all is with the first seal, where it says that he is wearing white and he's come to conquer, and a lot of scholars say, well, that's Satan. He's come to conquer the earth. And I'm like, since when did Satan wear white? He's never worn white. But with that scripture in the New Testament and the fact that he's come to conquer, and on the horse is to conquer, he's already done that. He's already done it. So that's why I feel the first seal is broken. I don't think it is one linear, consistent thing with these seals. I think that the seals are broken, but that doesn't mean, well, it's going to take exactly this amount of time for that one. That one is going to take exactly that amount of time for that one. I think it's over time that these seals have been broken. And I think what the beginning is the birth of Jesus was the first one. And I think that's where it started. Now, there are certain things that start tribulation. Because tribulation, is judgment. That's all tribulation. These 7 years, that's all tribulation is about, is judgment. God's judgment. And it's your last chance to say, I believe. Until Jesus steps his big toe on earth. His toe could be 2 inches from the earth, and you say at that last second, I believe. Then you're saved. You're not saved from being judged, because you will be judged on your actions. But you will be saved, you believe. Just like when you're a kid, you tell me the truth, the punishment won't be as bad. You're still going to be judged on your actions. So, these 7 years is literally a judgment. There are certain things that have to happen before these 7 years. There are, believe it or not, it's going to start off with war. There are several wars, couple wars, 2 in particular. One's in Isaiah, and I forget where the other one is. But it all has to deal with the Middle East. And there's 2 specific wars. One has to deal with Israel, and the other one has to deal with Syria, particularly in around the Damascus area. I think I'm with you. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. It just worries me that they've gone so fast. So once those 2 wars start and are done, then you're on your way. You definitely know you're on your way to tribulation. So when those 2 things happen, and those are what I'm looking for, plus the fact, one world government, one world currency, that kind of stuff. That into play. But it's 2 specific actions. and one is in Psalms, I think, and the other one's in Isaiah. And once those happen, then you know tribulation is about to start. Middle Eastern wars, yeah, they're going to be in the Middle East, both of them. Both of them. Believe it or not, the Middle East has a lot to do with Revelation. Believe it or not. And why so many Americans hate Israel? I was watching it and I was like, why do you even hate Israel? Jesus even said, God himself said, blessed are those who bless my people. You don't hate the Jews. You don't hate Israel. That's God's country. Sorry. I don't understand why. Dale says, me too, why I have not left the house except to go to the doctor once a month since June. Sarah says, of course it does. That's where most of the stuff in the Bible happened. Carol said, exactly, Les. I don't understand why people hate Israel. Israel has been nothing but good to us. I don't understand. And I love Netanyahu. I really do. But I don't understand why people hate Israel at all. I really don't. I really don't. Dale says, I don't hate anyone except for one person with every fiber of my being. Yeah, that's something my grandma's always told me. You should never have hate in your heart. You should never have hate in your heart. And I don't. I think that's why I can forgive easily. I don't have hate in my heart. Pray for Israel. Isn't that in the Bible? Yes. Yes. But, you know, you really should not, and telling that to myself. Yeah, I've never, there was only one person I had hate in my heart for, and I learned to forgive him in my early 20s for my own sake. I did it for my own sake, not his. It was my dad. I did it for my sake, not his. You know? I can't live with hate in my heart. I don't care who you are. Forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for us, yeah. I can relate to that, Dale. It's true. It's not for them. For me. So. But that is pretty much, even though it was long, pretty much a brief thing on, you know, what my theories are from reading. Really. So, but you know, I've told my sister she don't want to hear it. She don't want to hear anything about it. She don't care. Cameron, same way. The only one that really cared was my mom, and she forgets half of everything we've ever learned. So I have to like reteach her. You know. Thank you for explaining it, Liz. I've been doing a lot of Bible study and still learning. Dale said the Reader's Digest version. Much appreciated, Liz, to give us your take on it. Because I admit that I have not read the Bible from cover to cover. I tell you what. The Bible is not an easy read. Maybe not the first one or two times. But it does. I like reading it because it's got everything in it. It's got everything in it. And you learn something every time you read it. I think I've read it about 5, 6, 7 times. Um, but the first couple times, yeah, it's not an easy read. I think if you read it just to read it and not try to bring any kind of understanding or trying to understand every single word into it, I think if you just read it just for what it is, not trying to comprehend, not trying to decipher, not trying to correlate everything you know into every verse you read. No, don't do it. Just read it. Just read it. Don't try to understand it. Just read it. And do that a couple times. And I guarantee you're going to learn something new every time because you're going to start thinking. You'll start thinking. And you'll start questioning everything you ever learned. Everything. And then you'll start trying to, okay, I want to understand. And when you start putting that in your head, then God will lead you. He will show you what you need to understand when. It will be revealed unto you when you are ready. Or if you get a Bible geared for a younger person, where the words are explained. That's awesome, Les. I've read the Gospels and now started into the Old Testament. I used to never read the Old Testament. I wouldn't. I refused. I would not read Revelation either. But actually, the Old Testament really is my favorite. But we should understand that it is the Word of God told by different people. It is the Word of God written exactly by God. Now, the New Testament, yeah. Old Testament, mm-mm. And, you know, the Bible is maybe under one book, but there's 66, well, depending on what, if you have the Apocrypha and stuff like that, it's like 66 books in one. What is the difference between the New and the Old Testament? The New Testament, of course, is from where Jesus arrived on. These are Jesus's words and apostles telling the story of Jesus. The Old Testament is God speaking to his people directly. Sarah said, I had a Catholic Bible that included the Apocrypha, and I gave it to a friend who was exploring Christianity because I have a few other Bibles at home. Yeah, I have one too. It's rich in history too. Old Testament, I learned a lot. I didn't know. Sarah said, Old Testament before Jesus, New Testament during and after Jesus. Well, the Old Testament is literally, I think, a lot more exciting, only because that was when God spoke himself. See, look at it this way. The Old Testament, God spoke directly to his people through his prophets. And you can only be a prophet if you're Jewish. That's what pissed Muhammad off. And that's why we have the Muslim religion, Islamic religion. Pissed Muhammad off because he wanted to be a rabbi. He wanted to, and he couldn't. You have to be, he wanted to be a prophet. You have to be Jewish to be a prophet, be a rabbi, prophet. And so, and God spoke directly to his people. And then when Jesus came, he was already on earth. So you had Jesus speaking directly to his people. God didn't need to have prophets like that anymore. He's here speaking directly to you. And then after Jesus left, when he said, I will never leave you, you have the Holy Spirit that helps guide you. Look at it that way. I really like that Bible because it had footnotes on almost every page. Yeah, I didn't know that. There's a lot of false prophets out there on YouTube that are always wrong. Well, like they say, beware of false prophets. Could be nothing. Hello. I read some rules that allegedly is in the Jewish Bible about how to treat everyone else that is not Jewish, and all I can say is wow. Dale said, yep, beware of false prophets. There are no more prophets. There are no more. There are no more. And why in Jesus, I love how he was talking to his apostles. He says, blessed are those who believe and who have not seen. We've not seen. They have. They had him there. We haven't. Except for he's inside of us. We've not seen him in the flesh like they did back then. They got to sit and eat dinner with him. They joked with him. They prayed with him. We didn't, and we believe wholeheartedly. Les, do you believe in the Watchmen in today's time? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I'm really not sure how I feel about that. I don't know. I think I at times I think there are, and then other times I think they're not. Um, I really am not 100% sure how I feel about that. I really don't. I know that I have not really, honestly and truthfully seen or heard or read anything, I should say, um, as far as the New Testament on. And when I say New Testament on, I'm not speaking just directly with the Bible. I'm just speaking of the birth of Christ on. Of them existing. So I'm not sure. Um, I think, I think that's all pre Jesus. Could be nothing says I thought children and women. I don't know. I don't want to quote because I can't do it properly, but I thought it said that the end times women and children will be prophecies. Well, you have to take things in context. But there, as far as prophets, there are no prophets. Like I said, first of all, you have to be Jewish to be a prophet. And secondly, you have to be able to perform as a prophet. There has not been a prophet who has not performed great deeds for no explanation except for by the hand of God. Look at Elijah. and what's funny about Elijah, who was probably one of the greatest prophets that ever lived, according to the Jewish people. And if you read the Bible, you will agree. He was a cantankerous little shit, if I must say. You know why Jews do not claim Jesus? Because they believe that Jesus was to come to be a warrior, a fighting warrior, to free them from Rome. He was supposed to come, lead an army, free them from Rome. There would be no more slavery. There would be no more dictatorship. They can be their own people, blah, blah, blah. And Jesus didn't do that. They did not read well enough into their own writings to realize that there was two comings of Christ. In the first one, Les, is that biblical? Is what biblical? You'll have to clarify. So when he didn't do that, even though it was prophesied in Psalm 21, it prophesied Jesus' life on earth the first time. Cookies, hello. And it's prophesied later that he comes as a warrior, which when he comes back, he will be a warrior. But his first coming, he set them free inside. They didn't realize that. They had corrupted everything God has said anyway. So, that is why the Jews don't believe, because he was supposed to be this warrior. But then again, Jews don't believe in heaven or hell. They don't. I thought it was because he was supposed to be a descendant of David. Jesus is a descendant of David. Both from Mary and Joseph, who raised him. They were both descendants of David. But Jesus is a descendant of David. You can go right up the line. Girl said, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah. That's one thing the Jewish people know how to do, is keep records. Mm-hmm. Yep. And David's great-grandmother was Ruth in the Bible. No. Yeah. It was Ruth. But Jesus is a descendant of David. Who most don't believe existed. Boy, I have so much to learn. I have so much to learn, as long as I've been reading and studying. But there are people who don't believe David existed. Well, he did. They didn't believe Solomon existed either till they found his stables. And I'm like, how can you believe he did not existed? He's the one that built the temple. Right there's the temple wall. But they found Solomon's stables. And they found a symbol of David. So, right, they keep finding stuff. Yeah. And they found a symbol of David. I mean, they find things all the time. And of course, does it make breaking news? No, it doesn't, because nobody cares anymore. Just like when they found the wall of Jericho. And there was only one part of Jericho that was there. They found it. And the one part that was there was believed People just don't want to believe. Oh yeah, because believing in God is such a nerd thing. You know, you're full of shit if you believe in God. You know. Um, Animal lover, hello. But they believe that this is interesting, you guys. You know the story of Jericho. Um, that's when they took the trumpets and walked every day, seven times around, blowing their horns for 7 days. Okay, they walked 7 times around, and it was Joshua led the charge. And on the seventh day, Jericho fell. The walls, the outer walls, just came down. Jericho fell, but um, but there was one section of wall that stayed, and it everything else was crushed around it, just fell. But there was one section that wasn't, because there was a woman of the night who saved two of Joshua's men, and she kept them hidden to save their lives. And then at night, she let them climb down out of her window, out of the hole in her wall, and escape. And they told Joshua what had happened. And they believe that section is where that woman of the night, that's the nicest way I can call her, the woman of the night lived, because it was the only part that was intact. You know, could be nothing. According to Jewish sources, the Messiah will be born of human parents, and since she was a virgin, he was not born of human parents. Yes, he was. My son's name is Ezra and Nehemiah. Virgins aren't human. Virgins are human. That's what said he was born. He was a human child born of a human woman. Oh yeah, I was agreeing with you to let could be nothing no. Um was. So, and everybody think Jesus was the first and only one, and guess what, folks? Jesus was not the first and only one. It takes two, Carol. Well, that's why you call it the Immaculate Conception. But Jesus wasn't the only one. Spirit Seekers Paranormal, hello. Um, Samson from the Bible, Samson and Delilah. Um, God's Spirit came over. Human parents, key words. I'm not arguing. Could be nothing. He was born of a human parent. And he was, in a sense. He had his human father. Did God make Adam? Oh, of course. Made Adam and Eve. Of course he did. Do I think what are you discussing? Bible stuff? My firstborn is Ezra, my second Nehemiah. What does that got to do with the price of tea in China? I would tell you my grandson's real names, but I'm not going to say it I'm not going to say it over here. They've got biblical names also. But he was. He had human parents, Joseph and Mary. There you go. But I'm not going to sit here and argue with you if Jesus existed or not. I'm not going to say the real names on here. That's what I'm saying. Name your kids Ezra and Nehemiah. Well, my grandsons have truly biblical names also. She didn't become pregnant by Joseph. It was called the Immaculate Conception. You can't limit God, though. He spoke the earth into existence, so I think he can have his spirit come over Mary. Exactly. And Jesus wasn't the only one. Jesus was not the only one. Samson was another one. John the Baptist was another one. It wasn't the first time, but he was the last. So, but I'm not going to argue with you if Jesus is the Son of Man, because he is. And, originally I started out Catholic, and that is one thing they hammer home. They hammer it home. So, but he was raised by Joseph, who treated him as his own. And guess what, folks? Jesus had brothers and sisters. I know me and my friend Michelle would fight. Me and her husband. It was me against them, especially Michelle. I would just stop talking. I'd be like, I ain't arguing no more. I ain't arguing with you. Because to her, the idea that Jesus had younger brothers and sisters was just blasphemy. And I said, why is it blasphemy? Because of Mary. What, she was allowed to have one child? Since when? What is the Egyptian connect with Jesus? Well, that is where when Jesus was younger, that is where Mary and Joseph fled to save his life when what's his face's King Herod's troops went and killed the babies that was born around Jesus' time. Spirit seekers. I think Jesus was God in the flesh. He is. Because he said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. Exactly. They had tons of kids back then and several wives, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Spirit. When Dale says, when he was put into the basket and set down the river, that was Moses. Jesus was never set in a basket. But it was in Egypt where Jesus as a baby. Which, was he really a baby? Yeah, some say he was a couple years old by then. When Herod sent those to kill the baby, they fled to Egypt. And was Jesus really 33 when he died? I don't think so. Because you've got Herod. Herod, we know from the time that people have between BC and AC, we have that 0.0, that 0 mark, okay? And they take from that 0 mark as the so-called birth of Jesus 33 years into the future when he died. But was he 33? This is where you got to open up your mind. This is what stuff I used to be good at. You got to open up your mind. You must use your head. Okay? Herod, we know for a fact, died at 4 BC. That's written. We know King Herod, there was a couple King Herods, but the one we're talking about, died at 4 BC. By the time Herod died, he had already sent people off to go kill the prophesied child, which was Jesus. That had already been done. So, and Herod ordered at 4 BC, before 4 BC, that the children to be killed were 4 and younger. So we know Herod died at 4 BC. And this stuff was already taken care of before then. So if you even take from 4 BC, Jesus was 37 at least when he was crucified. At least. And we know things weren't done quickly back then because there was no cars. They walked or cameled it. We knew it took some time for the 3 wise men who saw Herod and visited Jesus when he was young, baby, supposedly. This all didn't happen in one night, you guys. This stuff happened over months and months and months and stuff like that. And then you had the spies going back to Herod saying, yes, we found the child. And then you had to get everybody together. And then you had to go out to Nazareth and you had to sweep the countryside and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. And then report back. This took time. This didn't happen overnight. So, knowing that Herod died 4 BC, and this stuff had already been taken care of by then, he wasn't 33 when he died. He was at least. Because we know Jesus died at 33 AC. That's written. He was born in, he died the year 33 AC. It was at least 37. I'm thinking more towards 40. But he was at least 37, which really tripped James and Michelle out. Especially Michelle. She said, no, it takes away from Jesus. I said, how the hell does that take away from Jesus? I said, hello. I mean, talking about somebody who just, it's in their face and just won't see it. I said, it doesn't take anything away. It just adjusts the age a little bit. I said, what's the big deal? But still, either way, we only know about 3.5 years of Jesus' life. We only know. That's it. We know the story of when he was born. That's it. Just when he was born. We know about, him, his family, Mary and Joseph took him to Egypt. We knew about him coming home to Nazareth. You know, um, we know, of course, him coming home to Nazareth isn't until he's older. We know about his time in the temple. That was a matter of days. And then we know, when he came home to Nazareth when he was an adult, Um, that's pretty much all we know. It's about 3.5 years of Jesus' life. Now, my sister's ex-boyfriend Brian argued with me. He said, other than the Bible, there is no writings of Jesus, so did he really exist? And I said, there are writings of Jesus you don't read. I said, there are Jewish Roman scholars and record, those who wrote the records of the city and the census and blah, blah, blah. I said, he is mentioned. I said, but he wasn't known as the Son of Man then. So we know by reading, what's his face's, God, I can't think right offhand. What is that called? It's a huge ass book. Huge. I'm talking, this thing is like this thick. I mean, they had to separate it. And I had it all on disc too. History of the Antiquities. And we know in there, because they have yet to disprove anything in this book. They have yet to disprove anything. But we know in there about this child prodigy that the head rabbi was impressed with, and he gave this child prodigy a dog. What was that dog's name? I can't believe I forgot it. I forgot the dog's name. Zion. The child named his dog Zion. That child was Jesus. Jesus had a dog named Zion. Can you imagine those conversations? For real. We get some of the stories in the Apocrypha about Jesus as a child, but they're written in the Book of Antiquities, which they have yet to disprove. They have not been able to disprove anything. Anything in the Book of Antiquities. They've tried. They haven't. And they have not disproven anything. They cannot disprove the Book of Daniel either. And they've tried. Jesus was an ornery little shit. For real. He knew who he was, but I don't know if he understood who he was. He would speak of his father. That was not Joseph. But he loved Joseph like a father. Those think that there are people who think Joseph took a back seat. It was all about Mary, and it wasn't. It was all about Joseph when Jesus was young. Joseph is the one that taught him what it was like to be a man, to be a carpenter. People think that Jesus was poor. Their family was poor. They weren't. Carpenters were not poor back then. You had to know what you were doing because let's face it, Israel was not abundant with trees. They had to get it from Lebanon. Deal with the cypress and all that. You know, you had to know because it was expensive. You had to know what you were doing. You really did. They were not poor. You know, they were not destitute in any way. So there was a time when Jesus was young that, and like I said, if you read the book of Antiquities and things like that, you'll find it. The book is so interesting read, though. Very interesting read, the book of the Antiquities, you guys. I suggest if you've got 17 years, read that sucker. Very interesting. Well, anyway, when Jesus was young, he killed 3 birds. No. He killed a little boy. He pushed him off the roof. They climbed up Joseph's ladder. And he pushed the boy off the roof. And the boy fell, you know. And Jesus came by and Joseph's like, you killed him. And Jesus said, why are y'all crying? He ain't dead. And Jesus was just a little shit, like 5. He said he's just sleeping. And he walked over to the boy, touched him, and the boy woke up. Said, see, I told you. And there was a story of somebody had made 3 clay birds. And Jesus said, "Oh, aren't they cute?" Basically, I'm paraphrasing now. "Oh, aren't they cute? Let me touch one." So he held one of the birds in his hands and he blew on it. And it flew out of his hand. He did it for all 3 birds. They flew out of his hand. But he didn't know. Or did he know who he was? He was just a little boy. Just a little boy. You know, and Joseph is the one that taught him. Said, you gotta stop doing this. No. And it was Mary, his mother, that told him, it's time for you to go out in the world and know who you are. Mary knew he had to die. Mary knew. Very interesting stuff. But Jesus had to come and be a human. He had to be a human. He had to experience everything. That's really interesting. Never heard that before. My favorite story was about the woman who claimed that a child was hers. Another woman claimed that child was hers. Jesus said, okay, I will split the child in half. That was Solomon. That was Solomon. And the one lady said, no, let her have him. And Solomon said, give the baby to that lady. Only a true mother. Only a true mother would give up her child for that. I like the story too. I'm not Jewish. I just like to hear what people have to say about that. The reason I mention my son's name is because how or why I named him Ezra and Nehemiah is chapter after. Dale says it always stuck with me. Yes, I remember that story. So many stories. Yeah, there were a ton of them. Do you think Ezra and Nehemiah will be the two prophets that come down off the mountain in the end times? The two witnesses? Yeah. People, some say it's going to be Moses and Abraham. Some say it's going to be Elijah and Abraham. Who knows? Who truly knows? But I'm going to go ahead and go because, oh good God, I did not realize it was this late. It's almost 3:30 in the morning. I'm late taking my meds. Oops. So I want to thank everyone for coming in, everyone for participating. Could be nothing to see. When I first heard that about why they don't believe that he was the Messiah, really messed with me. So I like to hear others' true opinions, and you gave me that. So thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for the awesome conversation, Liz. You're welcome. Good night. Have a pleasant weekend. You too. Thank you everyone for coming in, participating, and hope everybody has a great night and a great day. And we'll talk